Good afternoon, flosstube. Color here is looking really washed out to me, so you may not be seeing things the way I'm seeing them, but I kind of need to put in an update now, whether the lighting is good or not, because this is a day that I'm going to be giving away some of my finishes. So I am here to actually show you some progress. The last time I put up a video, it was just a stitch with me, and I might like to do one of those again in the future, but for now I just kind of quickly want to go through my finishes. I have several, and my progress and my plans. So let's start with the good stuff. Let's start with the finishes. 2 months ago I showed you that I was working on a project, pardon that big arm right across the camera, for NP Designs. It's a Southwest kit that I got on the Navajo reservation some years ago, and I told you last month that it was finished, but I didn't show it to you. So this is what he looks like, and I know the colors are not what I would like them to be in the light here, but you can see it's a nice little design, very geometric. I talked to you the first time I showed it about how much I like that pattern, and it's been done for a while, and the only reason I did not fully finish it is because I figure with all those other charts I have, other patterns from this series, I may end up wanting to finish them together somehow, make them look the same. So he's just going to have to wait, the little turtle there, until I have others in the future to decide how they'll go together. But that's my first finish. Next finish. I kind of showed this to you last month, but it wasn't fully finished. It has to do with the gifts that I'm giving. I've got 3 of them, and they are ready to go. So the first one that I finished was this little guy. This is a 3-inch hoop to give you some idea of the size. I told you that I had intended to use my really wretched MCG fabric and kind of aired and used normal Aida cloth instead, but I was also using some of my cheapest flosses, designs for the needle. Didn't occur to me till I was all finished and getting ready to wash these this morning so that they could be dried and ironed, that I hadn't checked it for color fastness, and there might be another reason they're cheap besides the fact they don't stitch up like quality threads. Yeah, the colors run. So I caught it on one of them. I didn't catch it on here, so it's actually a little pink. You may not be able to tell that. I can tell that. Hopefully the person I'm gifting it to is not going to notice. So they're just in little hoops with muslin on the back. Nothing fancy. The second finish you saw me working on, this was my Stitch With Me piece. This is our Murloc. Little creature that, like the other finish there, comes from a video game, an online massive multiplayer online role-playing game. And I think he turned out pretty nicely. Again, the colors are nothing to write home about here with the lighting, but you can see he's done. I think he turned out pretty cute. I did have a question last month in the comments about, I don't know if it was specifically about Mr. Murloc here, or if it was about stitching in general, but they wondered if the design was transferred onto the fabric, or just how it worked. So I had thought of spending some time, just a few minutes, going over some of the different options for cross stitch, but I didn't pull that stuff out, and I don't really have the time today. I'm trying to get this video done so that I can get over and check on my late parents' cat. She's real sick, and I kind of want to get this out of the way. So maybe next month. I don't want to ignore that commenter. I had meant to say something to them. Sorry, got my cat getting in the way here. I had meant to show some, stamped cross stitch and iron-on transfers and various different things. I just didn't get there. Anyway, the short answer to their question is I looked at this pattern online. I did a Google search, and what I came up with was a pattern that was good for either cross stitch or perler beads or whatever one might want that's a charted design, and I just copied it right off the screen of my iPad onto, of course, even weave fabric, which is already divided into squares, so it's just like transferring something from a graph. Anyway, the third and final one was a lot tougher, because whereas there were a lot of choices for this online and I just had to look for one I liked, and it's little, like I said, 3-inch hoop, and there were much fewer choices for this, and the one that was there was very cute, so I just went with what I saw, put in my own colors that approximated the original, and he's in a 5-inch hoop. But the third one, I had two options. All of the designs that really look like it should look from the game were much too large. They would not have been proportional to these, unless possibly I'd gone with a much smaller count fabric. I guess this is a larger count, smaller count. If I'd gone with like an 18 count instead of a 14 count Aida. But I wanted it on the same fabric. So the one design that was close in size to these, I didn't really like. I mean, you could tell what it was supposed to be. It came up when you Google searched for this thing, but it wasn't quite right. So I had to massively adapt the design I found. So this is kind of a cross between the ones that really do look like this should look and the one that was small enough, this is a 4-inch hoop, to match my others. And I altered the bejesus out of this. Okay, a lot of the dark blue parts are the same, but I changed the nose, the eyes, the center line up there at the top. There's had little crosses on either end for some reason. I altered the yellow around the edge. I did all kinds of things with it, using the good patterns. I shouldn't say good, the full size look like they should patterns as my model for what needed to change about the small one. I still really appreciate that the small one was there. Almost all the blue on the edges from the eyes down, that's their original blue. I had to change the top. It did not look right. So everything above the eyes, that's kind of me, kind of them, kind of me. But he's done, and he is, again, from the same video game. These are the two different factions, symbols for various groups in that video game. And my friend that I'm giving them to tonight plays the game, obviously. In fact, everybody who's coming over tonight plays it. We're likely going to have a LAN party. We always seem to. I used to like it when they came over and we'd pull out board games all night, but now all they want to do is drag their computers and we sit there and play the game in person instead of through something like Ventrilo. But that's okay. So that's 3 more finishes that are going to be gifted tonight, and I hope she's happy with them. Okay, that was it for the finishes. So I need to show you some progress. I have a feeling I'm talking kind of fast today. Sorry about that. I haven't even actually checked to see if the video is recording. I usually do that. So I may end up doing this twice, which won't save any time at all. But did I remember to say who I am? I said, hi, flosstube. This is AM Dreamingstitcher. 8 minutes in. Remember to tell you who's talking to you. So progress. The project that matters the most right now is that wonderful special Torah Stitch project. They give you 6 months from when you get your kit to get it done and send it back to them. And I was behind last time I showed it to you. I've told you I am not a reader or speaker of Hebrew. It is not my religion, but I feel very honored to do this project, and I have just about caught up. So if you can read this, great. I don't know. Proofread it for me, would you? See if I've got it right. But last time I think I was maybe on the 3rd line, 2nd line, possibly. And now we go all the way down. I am on the very last line, and it is a partial line that goes just past the center point. So hey, almost done. Except they offer the option of adding borders and or, if you have room at the bottom, additional designs down there. So I'm going to make a border. And to give you some idea of what my border is going to be like, I have, there are some restrictions. They tell you what set of colors it has to be limited to, and it has to start at least 2 squares from the edge of your stitching and cannot be more than 5 squares wide. So the first thing I tried, let's see, that's not good. There. First thing I tried was that little green line you see there, and it looked great on paper when I designed it, and when I stitched it up I thought that doesn't look what I intended it to look like. So I asked a couple people. One was the Torah Stitch coach and one was my sister who was coming to visit, and they pretty much said it looks like little flowers on a vine. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I wasn't going for flowers on a vine. So I picked a couple of other colors and tried something else, and my sister looked at that and she said, well, that's better. Clearly it still wasn't what I wanted. So I made one more alteration, which is all these little threads at the back that aren't really stitched through. This was just a what happens if I do this question, and she said that's better. So it's still not quite what I'm going for. What we're going to do is, she suggested, we decided together, I'm going to lengthen out the part between each figure just a little bit so that they're spaced out slightly, and in some spots shorten the little branches, because yeah, that yellow part is a plant. This is very pretty gold, by the way. But what those are supposed to be, why don't you tell me in the comments if you can tell what they're supposed to be. They're not supposed to be flowers on a vine, okay? There's a certain theme that they said was okay with this Torah Stitch project, that if you had no other ideas you could include these things, and that's what I was going for. Let me know what you think they are. Maybe you don't have to, I never get that many comments, but if you want to say, I'd be interested to know if they look anything like they're supposed to. In any case, once they're on the border of the stitching, I think it'll be fine. It's in their palette that they asked for, and it's colorful, and it's the right size, and I think it's going to be okay when it goes down. It'll be an attractive little border, even if you can't tell that it is what I wanted it to be. So that's my progress there. Hopefully that will soon be done. It didn't take very long at all to stitch up these samples, so I'm hoping the border itself does not put me behind. I'm hoping it gets done pretty quick. Okay, what else? Something else I was working on a couple months ago that I showed you, and I believe this is the final piece that I have any progress on, but you are going to see some other things, was my eBay purchase, this 1987 kit from Bernat of a carousel horse. And I had done, well, you'll see what I had done before. What I've added to is her tail at the back. So here she is so far. And everything you see in the tail back here is new since the last time you saw her. Again, the colors are not showing up that great, but it is what it is. And I hope to make a whole lot of progress on that or something else, because I've been thinking about my mania plans. Now, why would I have mania plans? I'm not, as I've said many times, in any of the Facebook groups. I don't do online social media other than YouTube. I have no personal contact with any floss tubers. Not that I wouldn't like to, but I don't know any in person. I keep myself fairly anonymous, because this big wide world of instant everybody in the world can see you and know you online still kind of creeps me out a bit. I prefer the anonymity, and I don't want the entities that I work with to be finding these videos just for my own reasons. So why mania? Well, because it's so contagious. People come out and they say all the things they're going to do, and it's so interesting, and it's just one wild, crazy month of the year. No, I would not be doing 15 starts. That's what they did the first year, or 17 for last year, or 18 for this year. It seems like they add one start every year. But they have started to say, if I understand the other floss tubers, that it is okay to simply adapt mania to your own needs. What is manic for you in the month of May? So I had an idea of what would be manic for me. Not very easily doable because my time is so tight. But since it's 2018, and I know they like it to be, say, in the first 18 days, I decided that my goal when May gets here would be to spend 18 minutes every day on each one of my works in progress. 18 minutes per whip per day. Now that's pretty manic for me, believe me. Now I realize there are some floss tubers out there that there are not enough hours in the day for them to do that with their whips. But at the moment, I will show you how many that would be. My hope is that I will knock at least one of these out before May because it's too many. But there was the carousel horse you just saw. That would be one 18-minute session. And I would use a timer on my computer probably to help me time my 18 minutes. I could spend 18 minutes doing all my back stitching and French knots, etc. to finish up Fateful Night. That would be 2 whips. I could spend 18 minutes per day working on my heartstring samplery, which as you can see has not been touched for a while. Poor thing. There's my thread and needle. It needs a lot more work. It's a huge piece and I haven't done anything. Last thing I showed you I think was that teeny tiny little, so hard to do this with the camera backwards, motif down there that looks like a snowflakey sort of a thing. Little gray flower. Yeah. 18 minutes per day on that. That would be 3 whips. Another 18 minutes on, who have we got? Birds of a Feather. Unless I knock them out in April. This one somehow seems maybe the most doable in a month's time. I shall have to see. That would be 4 whips at 18 minutes each, so already we're over an hour of pure stitching, and I have trouble getting in half an hour of stitching a day. A 5th one would be my little black piece that you're not going to see much of here because it hasn't changed since you saw it. It's a kit, artiste kit. Not much going on there yet. But that would make 5 whips. So we're now up to a lot of time. I also have my Tiffany Wedding, which is my oldest whip. And you have seen it before, and it's not very far along. It's only that much. It's stamped cross stitch. That would be 6 whips, 6 sessions of 18 minutes each. There is also, I believe, 1 more. I hope no more than 1 more. Because if it's another, then I'm in trouble. I think we're good. This might be the bottom of the pile. Let me know if you remember another one I haven't showed you. But the 7th one would be my Orenco rabbit, who's that far along. So 7 works in progress at 18 minutes each. I did the calculator before I started here. I think it was 140 some minutes, so 144, 142. More than 2 hours of stitching. 18 minutes per whip per day. I've got to get 1 or more of these out in April. I do. Otherwise I'll go crazy. So that's my finishes, my works in progress, my plans. I had 1 more thing to show you if you could just be patient. 2 more things. I fibbed. One of them is something that I think is just really charming. We've been cleaning up Parents' house, as I've told you, and I found a couple of things. One of them is this little needlepoint pillow, pin cushion, whatever it is that was made, I don't know when. It's rotting away, okay? Nothing out in the garage where we've been cleaning or the sheds has been stored very well. So it's dirty. It had at one point in its life a nice blanket stitch all along the edges that's just rotted away. There are holes through to the canvas. So why am I showing this to you? Just because I feel as a tribute to Whoever made this, and I can't even say if it was one of the women in my family, could have been my grandmother. She did needlepoint. It could have been her second cousin who did needlepoint. Could have been my great aunt. It's the second cousin's mother who did needlepoint. Could have been any of them. But I thought, that is not too hard a design. I bet I could replicate that if I tried. Hang on to this, look at the design, get some canvas and colors. They're not even colors that are that hard to approximate, and bring a replica of this cushion to life. Not because it's any special fancy design or anything, but just because it probably was one of the ladies in my family. At least 50-50 chance that it was. And whoever made it, you all talk about rescuing old projects from thrift stores and things. This would be not exactly rescuing the project, but bringing new life to the design of this thing. And this may not even be anything special. For all I know, this is some little kit that came out in the 1970s. Who knows? But that's my thought for it. And the other interesting thing I found that I wanted to show you from while we were stitching was a little girl's dress. Little cute red checked dress, buttons up the back. But at the front, it has these pockets with embroidery on them. We've got a puppet, Pinocchio, I'm thinking. A little gnome fairy creature or something riding a snail on each side. I suppose it's machine embroidery. I don't know. I don't have a machine that does machine embroidery, so I can't tell. Maybe you can tell from the back if that looks like machine embroidery to you. But it was just this charming little thing. I don't know. I thought it was cute. Not that I have anybody to give a little dress to. It's just me trying to save the stitches, I guess. So, the last thing I had to show you. I had the teeniest bit of haul and a caution. Most people don't like haul. When I say teeny bit, I got a piece of fabric that I don't think I have showed you. Of eBay, little blue Whisper Belfast linen, because of the chart I showed you previously with a little bird I wanted to do, and this was what the model was stitched on. I had gotten some gray linen and found, because it looked kind of gray in the photograph, found out that's not what it was. So I hunted around and found a piece of the actual model fabric. So I have that. It's a scrap. What do they say? 18 by 12. Just a little scrap I could do the bird on. And a kit. Here's the caution. It's an eBay kit. I was a little hesitant to go with the company. It's a big company that apparently sells all kinds of junk. They have overstock in their name. I'll tell you that much about them. I'm sure there are a lot of sellers that do. And many reviews were perfectly satisfied people with whatever they had bought. And there were a lot of negative reviews too, really. So I thought, I'm kind of, taking my chances here, but I'm going to try to order this because another floss tuber, yes, I should have written her name down, she was a new floss tuber, by the way, a Fluby, and she was showing some of her past finishes, and I thought this one was just right up my alley. So I hunted it out, and it's not in production anymore, so I had to get it at eBay, and these guys had the most reasonable price on it. So I ordered it, and it came weirdly packaged. 3 bags. Not its original bag. It's in this. This clearly is not original packaging. This is the design. Baby blue jays. Inside, I think it's like a priority mail envelope or something. Some kind of inner envelope around this plastic. Inside, one of those gray, sort of stretchy plastic kind of bags. So 3 bags. Which is really weird. Because I don't know why you would bag a thing 3 times when it's wet and reeks of perfume. It was wet, folks. It got to me pretty quickly. That might be why it was still damp. But they had some kind of accident in their shipping center, I think. And I don't know if the double packaging, triple packaging really, was meant to try to hide it. But when it came, the fabric was wet and stained. I've tried to wash it, so you may not be able to tell here, but it's got blue on the edges. Yeah, I did lighten it up a little bit, it seems. But when I tried to wash it again, the stink all came out again. It's blue. Trust me, it's blue. And it stank. And, you know, blue jays are one thing, but blue fabric for your blue jays, I'm not too happy with that. So, yeah, it's haul, but I'm only showing it to you to remind you that in the happy world of shopping for cross stitch, we always hope for the best, but be prepared. Sometimes it does not work out the way you want. I think it's salvageable. I know now that I got it wet once that it's probably going to stink every time I get it wet, so when I'm done stitching it, I have to be prepared for more perfume reek. But it's still such a charming design. Let me show that to you again out of its package so you can kind of see. And I'm a little worried the threads don't look like enough, but I compared them to the key, and it says it has all the threads it should have. But it's got pretty flowering branches and little birds. Sound familiar, huh? I need to finish my other birds. But thank you, whichever Fluby that was. I thought that was so cute. I did. Everybody uses the word cute here. I know they do. You know, somebody can show mass murderers and skulls and the creepiest Halloween patterns imaginable, and they'll say, isn't it cute? Well, it is if you like that. Everything's cute to somebody. So I like the little jays. To me, they're cute. Anyway, that's all I had today. Like I said, I think I was talking fast, but then again, I might sound a little livelier than usual. I guess it's because of the party tonight. I'm probably really hyper. And I need to go check on Parent's cat. So I probably need to wrap this up now. But thank you very much for watching. I myself personally am interested to see what happens in April. This is the 30th of March now. So, excuse me, 30th. Oh, you know what? My party's tomorrow. It's on the 31st. I'm just so wound up. I really am. I'm so wound up. So today's the 30th. I can get through today. Party is tomorrow night, so I can keep house cleaning. And I have wrapping to do. And shopping, lay in some supplies. I got a lot to do. But I'm interested to see what happens in April. Will I be able to knock one or two things out in April so that my Stitch Mania is not quite so impossibly manic? 18 minutes per whip seems doable in the real world if I were like retired. Sure. Not so doable when you work all day and you're stressed out. And yeah, I was clearing files from this table this morning, and I get physically ill sometimes when I'm dealing with things that stress me. And I kept having to tell myself as I was sorting files, stop, get a hold of yourself, get a grip, it's okay, focus. That's just me. I guess I'm neurotic. Sorry. Another one of my quirks. So thank you very much for watching. I'll hope to see you in the future with another video. I personally, like I said, I'm interested to see what I have done by then. And we'll find out whether when May actually gets here, I stick with my insane plan and do my own little manic mania. We'll find out. You have a great day, night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching. This is where I get to find out whether this actually recorded. So wish me luck. If you're watching, it worked well. Thank you and goodbye.